This week on Christian World News, it's one of the darkest, filthiest, and most hopeless places in the world. It's also the site of a technological and spiritual miracle. See how one group is delivering clean and living water inside a slum in Kenya. Plus, a former drug addict and dealer buys a one-way ticket to Southeast Asia. See how she's rescuing women and girls trapped in the sex trade. And the story of the New Testament. A new documentary explains how the Gospels and the letters to the early church were faithfully passed on through the centuries. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Christian World News. I'm George Thomas. In Kenya, hundreds of thousands are crammed into Africa's largest slum, known as Kibera. It's a world where hope is often in short supply. But it is in this darkness, however, a miracle is unfolding as a Texas-based ministry goes literally door to door, bringing God's love and life-changing water filters. Take a look.
It's based on that testimony, I am honored and blessed to baptize you, my sister, in the name of the Father, the Son, and that sweet Holy Ghost.
There is a place in Kenya called Kibera.
Infamous for its gritty reputation,
the people of Kibera are no strangers to the use of force,
where crime and violence lurk at nearly every corner.
By so many young people being killed.
Police opening fire on demonstrators.
That is why many people fear Kibera.
Kibera faces extreme poverty and gang violence, while lacking basic amenities like clean water and sanitation, earning its reputation as one of the darkest, filthiest, and most hopeless places in the world. Kibera today is Africa's largest slum, and this is what a typical house kind of looks like. Measuring only 8 by 8 feet, homes consist of mud walls, a corrugated tin roof, and either a dirt or concrete floor.
And there's not a bathroom in the home. There's not a kitchen area in the home. It's basically sitting and sleeping only.
Walk with me. I want to show you guys what's going on here.
Chris Beth, founder of the Bucket Ministry, first stepped into Kibera in 2017. What he saw shook him to his core.
There wasn't one home that had access to clean, safe drinking water.
Water here isn't a blessing, it's a curse. This is a common sight here. Folks have lined up their jerry cans to get water. The original source of where this water is coming from is typically clean and safe to drink. It has to then travel through this intricate spider web-like system of pipes. The problem is that many of those pipes are broken and contaminated water ends up coming into those pipes. Go ahead. The Bucket Ministry has shown through their research, extensive research, they've shown that once the water comes to this point, the water is still very contaminated.
So what you see is these snaked water lines all over this place that are on the surface. And most of them are illegally connected. They're scabbed onto each other, and all of them leak. Those leaks will actually start to suck sewage water into the pipes and contaminate the entire system with E. coli, amoebic dysentery, typhoid, cholera.
Endless piles of trash scatter throughout Kibera. The absence of proper sewage leaves human waste on the streets, which then ends up in the water. The official statistics say there are 78 latrines in all of Kibera, serving over 400,000 people. Let that settle in for a second. Beth recognized the urgent need for clean water and sent a team of 60 to canvass the slum.
And all they did for 4 months
was knock on every single one of the doors in this place. The result of that was we found out that there were 81,777 homes. We found out that there was about 408,000 people created in God's image that are sequestered to live in this place.
In 2000, the Bucket Ministry began a groundbreaking effort, distributing life-saving water filters to each home here. George Owegi, a local elder here, was initially skeptical.
Many NGOs, many people have come, and they have never made any impact. So when I saw them, I thought they are just the same like other people.
But this effort changed minds as Beth partnered with Sawyer to distribute plastic buckets, each equipped with a filtration system that makes contaminated water drinkable.
There's these membranes, and the contaminants, the dirty water, are getting caught on the outside of these membranes, and then the clean water comes through the inside of the membranes.
100 local missionaries, mostly Kibera residents, joined in by installing filters and teaching residents how to maintain them. Missionary leader Phoebe Mafula says the impact was clear after only about 70 days of using the filters.
As we are speaking today, there's a lot of changes, especially through clean, safe drinking water. A lot of diseases has been eradicated.
It all starts with the barcode on a filter.
The Bucket Ministry used a mapping software to track every filter.
At the point of distribution, we scan the barcode and deliver the filter to the recipient family. We then collect baseline data on the family's physical health and spiritual orientation to chart their progress.
And then every follow-up visitation, we scan the barcode again and we collect new data.
The result?
What you are seeing right now is a time progression map with the blue dots being actual locations of filters distributed in the Kibera by the Bucket Ministry teams.
Beth's team distributed 81,777 filters, providing clean water to all 408,478 residents of the slum. The project reached completion in December as Michael Wanjohi became the last filter recipient.
It's a miracle to me. For real, it's 100% miracle.
And the transformation doesn't stop there.
The water is the secondary reason why we're there. The gospel is the sole reason.
Though he sent Jesus the Messiah.
Missionaries visited every single home here, sharing the gospel.
Next, you will see white dots populating. These white dots represent where our local missionary teams have witnessed professions of faith by the families that have received the life-saving water filters and heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. Again, these are precise GPS positions and dates of the interaction.
Local pastor and 44-year resident Rafael Dihanda tells CBN News no NGO has ever shared the gospel so widely in Kibera.
When the Bucket Ministry came in and they recruited the missionaries going and supplying the filters and the buckets, people started accepting the gospel. And we can see now the great harvest is coming in the kingdom of God.
More than 22,000 people gave their lives to Christ. And the miracles keep going.
Lastly, you will see yellow dots populating on the top of the blue and white dots. These represent the actual locations and dates of where our teams have taught ongoing discipleship lessons in the homes of filter recipients.
The team shared over 500,000 discipleship lessons.
Nobody has ever done this. Thinking of visiting someone, maybe for one, twice, thrice, just going there. It has never been done.
Owegi says the spiritual effects rippled across the slum, transforming lives in a way no one expected.
People are testifying. People are leaving crime. They are changing their ways. They have reformed.
Prostitution, which had been a survival mechanism for so many women in Kibera, also began to fade.
People didn't know Christ, but what we have done and the work that has been done in Kibera through God is really tremendous.
More than 1,500 people were baptized, including Samuel Mwangi.
I was a very bad person before today. I was untrustworthy. I was a thief, a drug addict, but God healed me. Missionaries visited my home and told me about Jesus Christ, and I accepted him into my life.
With work in Kibera complete, Beth's team is now taking the mission to a nearby slum. The Bucket Ministry has decided to come to this community on the outskirts of Nairobi, known as Kawangware, as their next project. The initial assessment is that there are about 153,000 homes.
At the cross, where I first saw the light.
Work began January 1st with some 3,000 filters already distributed and more than 600 people giving their lives to Jesus Christ. Beth aims to reach all 710,000 residents here with the gospel's living water within the next 4 years. If you want to support their Kawangware initiative, just go to thebucketministry.org. Okay, folks, up next. She was once a drug dealer and addict. Now this woman is rescuing victims of the sex trade in Asia. Welcome back to the broadcast. Attacked with a machete and left for dead. That's just one survivor story from the House of Hope in Southeast Asia, where an ex-drug dealer is saving women and girls from the sex trade. Chuck Holter reports.
Across Southeast Asia, a multi-billion-dollar worldwide industry thrives in the shadows, preying upon the vulnerable and innocent. Underage prostitution is commonplace, and in the middle of this darkness, an unexpected source of light.
I'm an ex-drug addict, drug dealer. I used to cook meth, and I lived in California, and I was a terrible person. I was really scandalous, very violent. I was a homosexual, and I let sin control me. And finally, God saved me when I was in prison.
But her amazing story doesn't end there. When Holly completed her sentence, she decided to go to Bible school.
All of a sudden, when I was getting ready to graduate, the Lord called me to Asia. And it was just like this instant love just poured through my heart for these people that I never met and I didn't know. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And so that's how I got called to come here.
Unsure of what God had for her, Holly bought a one-way ticket, and she found while walking the streets of her new home, her checkered past became an asset.
From my background, it was easy to see the traffickers. And in my mind, they were like little skinny wimps.
Before long, Holly was saving girls from the sex trade.
The Lord ended up putting on my heart to open a girls' house, just to open a safe place for women to come from the village if they wanted to study in the capital city.
But saving girls' lives cost the traffickers money.
Somebody attempted to kill me, to pull me off a moto, and I had the left side of my body basically destroyed. I was in the hospital, all messed up.
At her lowest point, American missionaries Victor and Eileen Marks stepped in to support Holly's House of Refuge.
After I met Victor and Eileen, everything changed, and that now we're a lot more safe. We can actually get the bad guys incarcerated, which is a big deal.
More than 40 women and girls now shelter in Holly's home, all with horrific stories of abuse and redemption.
He put acid first. Yeah.
He put acid on you first?
Yeah. On
your face?
Yeah. And then my eye. So hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hot. Yeah, it burned your eyes.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He
grabbed your hair?
Yeah. And
pulled
cut. Yeah.
He cut your hand?
Yeah. This first.
Oh, cut this hand first. Yeah.
And eyes. He cut.
Right here?
Yeah, here.
Right here?
Yeah.
The man attacked her with a meat cleaver and then left her to die in the dark.
When I was laying out there in the field, I said, if there is a God, please help me. Help your child. Because back then, I was a staunch Buddhist, but I had heard about Jesus Christ before. I said, if there is a God, help your child, Jesus. I heard a sound, and it said, child, get up. When I heard that voice, I couldn't get up because I had no power in me. There was blood all over, and I couldn't sit up, but I felt something that felt like a big hand go underneath my back and help lift me up.
Her family eventually found Nora and took her to the hospital. That's where Holly found her. With a safe place to stay and help from donors, Nora eventually recovered. Now she's found peace with the trauma of her past and can even be thankful for the tragedy that brought her to God.
Is it difficult to come back here? Is it hard for you to come here again?
Freedom.
I have freedom.
I have freedom. Yeah. I'm okay. Happy. Yeah.
You're amazing. You're amazing.
These girls aren't just being saved from sexual slavery. They're being invited into a new family.
It's not a program. You don't get saved and go into a program. You get saved and you come into the family of God. We're children of God.
From East Asia, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Thank you, Chuck, for that powerful story. Coming up, a new film reveals the danger, drama, and faith behind the book that changed the world. There is a spiritual hunger spreading across America. More people are going to church and reading the Bible, some for the very first time. CBN's film has produced a new documentary answering questions many people ask about the Bible. Oracles of God, the New Testament, shows how it was forged in fire, copied by hand, carried across empires, and preserved at the risk of life itself. For 3 days, November 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, this film will be seen in theaters nationwide. Tickets are available at cbn.com/tickets. Dr. Craig Evans is the author of Jesus and the Manuscripts, and he's one of the experts interviewed in the film. He's now with us to talk more about this. Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Tell us, why did you take part in this project? Why is the information in this film so important?
Yeah, it's very important because people around the world, people in the United States, and even in the church don't know much about the Bible. They don't know where it came from. And when they hear claims in the popular media to the effect it's all myth, or nobody really knows what Jesus said or did, or nobody really knows if the biblical writings are accurate and have preserved what the originals said, when you hear that, hey, we need to do something. We need to educate the public.
What are the main questions that people tend to ask, specifically about the reliability of the New Testament?
Well, one of the questions is, were the Gospels based on eyewitness testimony? Were the Gospels written 100 years after the time of Jesus, and therefore they're probably inaccurate and full of myths? Were copies made that were accurate? Did people just make changes in the text? So that when we read Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, we're not really reading what was originally written. It's stuff like that floating around in the public. And of course, I am a New Testament scholar. I'm an expert in this field. And I just want to pull my hair out when I hear that kind of ignorance. And so the documentary that you have produced, and I'm so glad I was part of it, sets the record straight. And that's why I think it's very important.
And to that very point, the whole idea of coming up with strong evidence that the New Testament was recorded reliably and then passed down through history, 2,000 plus years. How strong is that evidence?
Well, the evidence is overwhelming. The Gospels themselves talk about real people, real events. They're accurate. Archaeology is able to confirm many things in the Gospels and show that the Gospels are reflecting the realities of the time of Jesus. And then, of course, we have manuscript evidence that just doesn't end. Literally thousands of documents, copies and copies. And what they show is the text was stable. The text that we now have, on which our English Bibles are based, is the text that the apostles and other New Testament writers originally wrote. So there really is no basis for skepticism.
And almost every day, Dr. Evans, the Israelis are finding new archaeological digs and findings and so forth. I'm curious, with the manuscripts, with these archaeological discoveries and all of the other material that goes into who this person was, Jesus Christ, does it help people understand who he was and more importantly, about his teachings?
Oh, yes, they do. And that's the big payoff from my point of view. I know that the text is stable and accurate. I want to know, what does it mean? And so many of these archaeological discoveries and manuscript discoveries help us understand better what Jesus taught and how his contemporaries would have understood him, how they reacted to the things that he did. And that's the big payoff. And by the way, if the Gospels were fiction, unreliable, full of mistakes, full of myth, then archaeology wouldn't help us at all, because archaeology deals with reality, the things that really did happen, the people that did live, the places that really did exist in antiquity. And so it's this correlation between the Gospels and the evidence that not only shows the Gospels are accurate, but actually helps us understand what they mean.
Is this only for new believers, or can mature people who have walked with Christ a long time, can they benefit from watching this movie?
Oh, absolutely. If you're a brand new believer, or if you're an inquirer, a seeker sitting on the fence, or you've been a Christian for a half century, this documentary will help you understand better the New Testament, especially the Gospels, but also how the letters in the New Testament relate to the Gospels. And this is a documentary that everybody ought to see. And that includes pastors too, by the way, who have seminary education. They will benefit from it too.
All right, terrific. Thank you so much. I appreciate your efforts and your role in this film. Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, George.
The Oracles of God, the New Testament, will be in theaters November 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. For tickets, just go to cbn.com tickets. We'll be back right after this. Finally, this week in Brussels, Belgium, more than 14,000 people came out to hear the gospel message from evangelist Franklin Graham. The Festival of Hope was organized by 620 Belgian evangelical churches in collaboration with the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Organizers called the cooperation of different ethnic churches a miracle of unity. The large crowd, a mixture of Christians and unbelievers, some who had never been to church before. The BGEA said many responded to the invitation to put their faith in Jesus Christ. Folks, that is it for this week's edition of Christian World News. Until next week, from all of us here, goodbye and God bless you.